So this is the third week in a row uploading videos on Monday. And I feel like a different person because over the past year I've been uploading but not as consistently. So this will just be finishing up on the piece that I started last week. I hope you watched that video. If you haven't, then just click on my videos and you'll see it. So in this video I'll be completing this drawing and sharing with you a few tips on how to maneuver working with a ballpoint pen and how to get this kind of result. So I think the thing that has been keeping me accountable is incorporating the works. I know it doesn't seem like it correlates, but it's surprising that when you do something consistently, because I've been working for around a month, and that kind of translates to other sectors of your life. So if you're not consistent, just try exercising and maybe it will help you. Yo, what's up? So this will serve as the official intro because the first few clips were kind of boring, I know, but that's what art is like, you know. Like it's not the way you see it on like TikTok or Reels where you see people with buckets of paint and just being all crazy. It's most of the time it's just a series of repetitive actions, controlled repetitive actions, which when you do them, you end up with a cool result. So yesterday I worked on this part and it was interesting to figure out, especially this part, because I believe this is the part that would either make or break the piece. So I got it to a point where I'm kind of satisfied with it, so I can continue with this other section. I think today's Tuesday. I came from my work. I showed you guys a few clips. I know they were kind of disjointed. The camera was crazy. I know I'm still not confident recording out in public. It's a weird experience. If you think that it's not, then I would urge you to try. Just go outside and pull out your phone and start recording. It's really weird, but I'll get used to it at some point, I believe. But yeah, so since I'm working with a ballpoint pen primarily on this piece, I wanted to share a tip with you guys that came as a surprise to me, especially when, if you didn't know, I was in architecture school, and one of the first few exercises they teach you is drawing straight lines. And I know I talked about it in my previous video, which was kind of short, so I briefly just rushed through the explanation, but I wanted to share with you that a majority of people can't draw like a straight line. This is my graphic tablet pen, stylus, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, a majority of people can't draw like a straight line, like from one end to the other. You'd be surprised at how many people can just pick up like a pen and use this backside, a pen or a pencil, and just draw a straight line without thinking about it. Like a staggering majority can't do that. And if you want to get into ballpoint pen art, you kind of have to get used to drawing the series of straight lines. If you guys think the lines are not straight, I think they're pretty straight. I'm not sure if my camera will cooperate, but you can see the lines are pretty straight. So when you're getting into ballpoint pen art, you need to practice drawing the lines, because this will teach you the fluidity in your wrist, and also the pressure control, because if you don't control the pressure, then you'll end up pressing too hard, or doing this motion I see people doing where you're not confident with the lines. So instead of going from one point to the other like this, you you know, and the lines looks like kind of zigzag. That's not ideal for ballpoint pen art. You need to learn drawing the straight lines. Then if you angle them, especially according to the contours on the object you're drawing, then that is hatching. Then if you draw another series of intersecting lines like this, then this becomes cross hatching. Now, depending on your preferred style or the desired look, then you can vary the space between the straight ones and the diagonal ones, so that if you want like a smoother blending, you kind of have to keep the distance between the crossing lines as small as possible, so that when a person looks at your art, they're not able to see that gap or those spaces, because those are the ones that make the overall result look well blended. So just a quick tip for you: practice drawing straight lines. It might sound silly, but even if you look at any other course, like drawing course, for example, in tattoo work, in digital painting, they emphasize the fact that you need to know the first few exercises. They emphasize the need for just straight lines without thinking. Get them as close to this as possible, and then you can start building up from this point. But yeah.
So over the last few weeks, I've been consistently consuming tattoo work content, and I know this is kind of like uh, not advisable, because currently I'm juggling between two different like two different art pages. Like I have my vector work and my traditional work, so I'm well aware of the fact that I'm not supposed to add any other media for now, before, because I need to get those two sectors working well enough. So I'm aware of that fact. However, I've been getting this urge to just get into tattooing. And this urge, I had it back in like 2021, but I never actualized it. I never enacted on it. So it might be why it's coming back now. I don't know why now. Maybe it's because I have a lot of free time, and not necessarily free time, but I have a lot of time. So I'm just thinking, I've been thinking about the tattooing and stuff. But as I said, I don't think I will act on it for now, at least, because I don't want to juggle too many things at once. But yeah, I have this kind of like false sense of confidence that when I do get into it, because I think I will eventually, I most definitely will, maybe 2 or 3 years after I will get into it. And I have this sense that I will be good at it, because when I do get into it, I don't want to like half-ass it. I will give it the dedication that it requires. But as for now, I'm just watching the videos, just familiarizing myself, even though I'm not like practicing the work. But it's interesting to watch other artists do it.
So I'm in the last stretch of this drawing. Yesterday I showed you guys I was working on this part, and so I'm only left with this part. The beauty about doing reflections is for the effect to pop, you kind of have to leave large areas without color so that that effect pops. All about contrast, I already talked about that stuff. So this entire portion and these portions, they'll mostly remain white. So I'm only left to work on this bit. Yeah, so I want to do that now. In the morning I worked on some client work, but obviously I can't show you because some people don't like when you share their work. So in the morning I worked on that. It was in Illustrator, so digital work. So that was kind of fast. That's why I have the time to finish up this. Meanwhile, I've been watching a documentary, true crime. If you didn't know, I'm a huge fan of true crime. So I've been watching the O.J. Simpson case. The the documentary, I think it's called O.J. Made in America. It's a really interesting documentary. I think if you're into true crime and stuff like that, it's one that I would recommend you to watch, because I was aware of the case, but not to that extent. So I have a little bit of more insight. Will it help me in my day-to-day life? Probably not, but I just like watching, especially the part where they go to like the courtroom and stuff. I think in a parallel universe, maybe I'm like a lawyer, because that kind of stuff really intrigues me. So as I'm drawing, normally I have something playing in the background, or sometimes it's just quiet. But since I've found that documentary, that's what I've been watching, and I'm about to finish it. As I finish the drawing, perfect combination. So yeah, let's get into this portion. This cotton wool that I bought is turning to be a handy investment, because like in this part, it's really helping me get smooth tones, which would be kind of hard to achieve, or would take more time to build up the layers using only a ballpoint pen. But it can be done. I just found this way to be more efficient. So you could try this if you have some piece of cotton or the cotton buds.
So I was actually able to finish this drawing on, I think, Thursday. And ever since, I've been working on different vector art projects. Some client work, some personal projects. I'll show you guys the personal projects that I worked on. And yeah, I also figured out this guy's name. In the last video, I guessed it was a character from Star Wars. But then I went and did my research and found out it's Darth Vader. I think I'm pronouncing the name correctly. He's apparently he's a villain in Star Wars, and he's one of the most known villains. And I don't know if what exactly makes him a villain because I haven't watched Star Wars. I don't think it's my cup of tea because it has a lot of fiction and stuff. So I haven't watched it. But yeah, this was a drawing of Darth Vader using big pens, and I hope you enjoy the result.